Hey everybody, happy face-to-face Friday. If you are joining me live, if you could comment below, I would appreciate that. And that way I can say hello. And then if you're watching the replay, put that in the messages or shoot me a message privately. I'd love to thank you for being here. I hope that your Friday is off to a great start. I am doing part 2 today of how we have started to eat healthier as a family and how to maneuver certain conversations with our kids, as we know that there's a lot of pressures to look a certain way from social media, and that is not our intent. As Ken and I have been on a health journey ourselves, we have been very, very careful about the way that we phrase the changes that we've made, and we've kind of found that it's impacted them for the positive. I want to preface this whole thing by saying we are by no means perfect parents at all. Like, I'll be the first to admit we make lots and lots of mistakes, but we have very consciously, pretty early on, kind of thought of and had goals for our family to be healthy, and we slipped by the wayside. But I'm happy to say we are back on track. And I wanted to kind of give you some tips to kind of help if you are on a health journey or you're thinking about doing it, how that's going to look or how it could look maybe for your family. And I hope that these will help. So last week I talked about some of the impacts that we've had from our own kids, from our own viewpoint, and how we kind of maneuver conversations around the fact that Ken and I are losing a tremendous amount of weight. We're very conscious about that. We don't, of course, want to provide any opportunities for eating disorders or that kind of thing. We're really careful about that. So we always take it from a health standpoint. Our kids are very active. I have a swimmer. I have a kid on the fishing team. So we're always out in nature, and that's something I think we fostered from the very beginning. But when it comes to actually eating, we have a little bit more of a challenge. It used to be before we started a program, before we started getting healthy, that we tended to have some pretty unhealthy things in our house, and we didn't focus so much on, we did always for hydration, we always gave them a choice of milk or water, but when it came for the eating, we always kind of excused it and thought of the way that we were raised. Well, it's okay, kids are supposed to have junk food, kids are teens especially, they're supposed to have junk food. That's just what they're known to do. And we've kind of broken that cycle and that way of thinking. And we used to keep ice cream in the fridge or in the freezer constantly, just to have on hand. And of course, if any of you've got teens out there, you know, if it's if it's in the freezer, even if you don't tell them about it, they will find it, they will eat it, and it will be gone within a day or two. Don't know. Let me know that we're not the only ones that deal with that. Keeping lots of cookies on hand, same thing. Once they find it, even if I don't tell them, it's gone. It's gone in a matter of days. Those gummies, the fruit gummies, it's just junk. We used to keep them on hand regularly. Regular candy, always just on hand for game night or whatever. And and sugared cereals was another one. So we didn't do it very often with the cereals, but all of those things were in our house on a regular basis. And of course, we could say that, yes, the kids were the ones eating them, but let's be honest, Ken and I both, we had our fair share of those foods as well. So we started thinking about it, and we started thinking about our journey. I'm like, that's just not healthy for us. If it's not healthy for us, it's not healthy for them either. And let's start to try to wean them kind of off of having those options. So we just stopped buying it. So we no longer keep the ice cream in the freezer. We no longer keep an abundance of cookies. I might have a few that I throw in their lunch. Gummies are just a treat that maybe we get when we go on vacation, just on occasion. And same with the candy and the sugared cereal. So it's more of a treat more than anything. We've replaced some of those foods with more fruits, more whole fruits. And I know, like, we try to get the little fruit cups that have no sugar added. So that's been a change that we've had. We'll do more of the fruit pouches, like the applesauce pouches. I know they're not perfect, but they're not, most of them don't have the sugar in them. They kind of balked a little bit at the beginning, but now they're kind of okay with it and they expect it. Instead of keeping the ice cream in the freezer, we will go out for a special treat to get ice cream. So that's something instead of keeping in the house, we're still allowing them to have those, but much more closely monitored. Again, cookies is a treat on rare occasions, gummies very rarely, only on special occasions. And we've kind of implemented a few more protein bars because I struggle with, especially with my swimmer, burns a ton of calories. She's building muscle. I want to make sure that she's getting good sources of that. Be careful, check the labels. If you'd like some recommendations of some that I found to have a little bit less sugar, a little bit more protein, message me. I can give you some ideas for those. We've kind of tried a lot of some of the ones that are more fruit nut based, and they tend to not like those as much. So I'm trying to find a happy medium of what they'll eat and what will also serve the purpose of helping them to increase their protein intake. More cut fruit. I know it's a little bit more expensive, but I know that if it's in the fridge, they're going to tend to eat it and grab it a little bit more. And I have noticed that if I tend to keep the strawberries washed and trimmed, they will go and they'll grab those, or the watermelon or whatever it is. And also for protein, we've got a lot more yogurt options. Some of those have the little sprinkles in them, but for the most part, we tend to try to keep those in check with the sugar as well. So just some ideas of what we've done as we've transitioned. Like I said, they kind of resisted in the beginning, but mom's the one that goes and buys the groceries. So I really had a lot of control over that. And I have found that now they don't really miss the bad stuff, and we'll go out and have ice cream like, this is really sweet. And they tend to not even finish it all. So to me, that's a huge improvement for where we came from. You might be doing things a little bit better. If you've got more ideas, I'd love to hear those. Share those with me. Um, and then another thing that we do is, and I've said this from the very beginning, I only allow them to have one of whatever it is a day. So if they tend to like a certain protein bar, for example, I will limit that to one a day, and they know they can't choose it multiple times of the day. Helps with a couple of things. One of them, I don't have one kid that's eating the whole box, right, for the day and not leaving any for the other. But also, we're trying to teach them how it's important to have something in moderation, or everything in moderation. Not ever eating the same thing multiple times during the day. So that's kind of a twofold thing. Let's talk about dinners. So I get a lot of questions from clients, especially those with young children. They're like, I don't want to be preparing a meal for myself and a meal for my kids. And it kind of stresses them out. And I wanted to talk to you guys about some of the things that we have done in finding some solutions to kind of help make sure that Ken are getting the things that we need to stay true to our weight loss, and to also help our kids get the nutrients and everything that they need. So I want to just throw some of these out. You may already know about these, but one of the things we have hamburgers. We have switched from the 85/15. Now we get only 90 or above fat, uh, or 7% fat or less, 10% fat. We try to keep that down. That's really helped. They don't really miss the extra fat, I don't think. They haven't talked about it tasting any differently. So that's really good. So if we decide to do hamburgers, then of course, Ken and I would have hamburgers without the bun, maybe on a bed of lettuce, staying true to our plan. But what we would do for the kids, of course, is they would have the hamburger buns, they would have the regular condiments, the ketchup, the mustard. Ken and I found a really great low sugar substitutes, the G Hughes brand. Really, he's got a lot of different flavors, but his ketchup is really tasty, really good, and it helps us on our weight loss journey. So again, not really adding anything different. I might add some mac and cheese for the kids or some baked beans, but we all eat the same veggies. So we're all getting that. I might add some fruit for them. That's off limits for what we're doing on our weight journey so far. So that's an idea. Another one, we did Taco Tuesday. That one's a little bit easier. We've switched from the beef. We've gone to ground turkey instead. Again, a lower fat content. And for the kids, of course, they'll get in a taco or a burrito. I don't do the whole grain stuff. They just won't even touch that with the 10-foot pole, so that's fine. I might do my ground turkey with the low sodium. We season everything with the low sodium taco powder and our taco seasoning. And for the kids, they'll have the tacos, and I will have it on a bed of lettuce. And then we have since replaced the sour cream with non-flavored Greek yogurt, and that's a great substitute for the sour cream. It's got a little bit of higher protein content as well. Again, low fat cheeses for all of us. I don't need to make it so completely complicated and undoable. So that's a couple of things that we do. Grilling's always a great option because everybody eats that. And I would just have different sides for the kids. Again, it's not a big deal for meal prep. Um, we are also when we have spaghetti. So I have since become addicted to spaghetti squash, which is on plan. I've made it in my air fryer, which tends to cook it a little bit quicker and it gets a little crunchy on the outside. So I really have enjoyed that. I will have my spaghetti in or on a bed of spaghetti squash. Of course, for the kids, I'll just make them pasta. We all share the same meat sauce. Again, the low fat beef with a low sugar sauce. I like the Rouse, or there's a Michael's of Brooklyn that's really good. Again, keeps me close to my plan so I can continue on my journey, but it still allows the kids to have what they need. So we'll do that a lot. I also do it with the palmini noodles. Those are amazing. If you've not had them, try them out. They're really, really great. Again, I think it's a whole pouch that's a serving for people on plan. And then finally, we've been trying to work in more vegetarian meals. And we're doing that because we have a history of some pretty bad heart issues. And so we are trying to be cognizant of not eating meat quite so often. So a couple of times a week, we'll do like a ravioli for the kids. Again, I might do a spaghetti squash or might just do a meat sauce with no noodles, so to speak, with a veggie on the side. And so they'll have the ravioli, which is a meatless option. And then also another one that we do pretty frequently are the baked potatoes. Again, I'll do it in a spaghetti squash boat for myself. And then we all get the same toppings. Again, the Greek yogurt for the sour cream, the low fat cheeses. I might add some butter to their baked potatoes. But again, it's just another way of looking at it. So I really don't see it as much as a challenge. I kind of like thinking about things like that. So if you're struggling with your meal prep and you are on a mission to get healthier yourself, but you recognize that you need something different for your kids, reach out to me. Let me know what you're struggling with. I've got some really great ideas. There's some really great recipes that are family friendly. I'd love to share with you. And I hope that this has been helpful for someone out there. I'd love to hear from you if it was. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and I look forward to talking to you guys next week. Take care.